Hail Pandawans and journeymen walking that illustrated path. Today is a most auspicious day, for it is Valhallantines Day. Yes, some of you may think it's Valentine's Day, but no, it is Valhallantines Day. And that's the day where you Vikings and Valkyries hang out on the battlefield. And the Viking, if he falls, his beloved Valkyrie takes him on her winged steeds to the hall of the slain in Valhalla, and they celebrate over mead and meat and romance. Now, normally for Valhallantines Day, I like to do a picture of, an undead warrior or Valkyrie, basically boozing it up with some mead horns. And I'm like, you know what? The picture I am currently working on, though it is not a Viking or a Valkyrie, or maybe it's just dwarven versions of it. And the way that this story of this picture turns out, maybe they will be going to the halls of the slain. But I figured this would be a great image to show. It's an in-progress piece of art. It's got a young guy and a young gal hanging out, throwing up their horns and raising their mugs. And also, I don't really get to show you the bigger pictures I do. I do usually sketches, but I thought this time I could kind of show you the in progress of one of my bigger pictures, and also kind of the coloring method that I've done on some of the other videos, but on something that's a little bit more detailed. Now, as you can see, this is a pretty detailed right now image. It'll get a little bit more detailed, but I have the artwork, I have all the tones down, and with just a simple flat color, I'm going in there and painting in the hair for our dwarven lass, or painting in the beard of our dwarven warrior type here. But by having that rendered, illustrated sort of artwork already done, whatever color you apply to it, it will take on. Now, usually there's a few other steps that I do that I wanted to keep the video short, 10 or 11 minutes. So you guys could spend time with your lovely ladies and husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends and spouses and louses out there. You don't want to be spending Valhallantines with old Samwise, do you? You want to be with them, where they're going to be judging and labeling like, oh, this present wasn't nice enough. No, I'm just teasing. Yeah, but tonight is the night for love, and you should spend time with your loved ones. And do whatever you guys are going to do. Have dinner, all that. But back to the picture, sorry. I'm falling away into the world of romance and wistfully thinking of this wonderful relationship this fine young dwarven man and dwarven lass have together. They're out drinking and carousing and all that. And in a little bit, I'll move around so you can see more of the picture. I know you'd like to see a little bit more, but right now I'm just showing you some of the initial steps on how I color my images. Now, normally I would have the characters sort of selected so I could be a little bit more looser with the painting. I'm just showing you a rough version of how I do it. I probably actually won't use this example here, because as I've been watching it, I'm like, no, I think I should change this. I should change this color and all that. The great thing, though, is I have the color currently on a separate layer. So if I want to, I can go underneath that color layer and change the black and white. I could change up the design on the, the girl's plate mail armor right there, and the color will still be over it, basically. So whatever I change it to, it'll still have those colors, which is kind of nice. It lets you have a little bit more freedom. But what I'm going to do with this image is I'm going to take this color layer, and then eventually I'll put another layer on top of it and, sort of redefine the color, or not refine, sorry, refine the colors. And eventually I'll just smash them all down onto the black and white artwork and say, hey, that's, make a commitment like these two are. they're committed to having a good time tonight, it looks like. I hope their evening doesn't get ruined. Yeah, I've been working on this picture. I started this weekend, and I really wanted to see if I could finish a picture in one day. And then, you know, elements of the day happen, and you know, you got to take calls or go somewhere, run errands. But so far, I've probably worked about 12 hours, 12 to 14 hours on this image. And I probably have with the, you know, when I do the whole coloring on it, that'll probably be like another 10 hours. So normally a picture like this will take 3 to 4 work days. And it depends on if the day gets interrupted or if there's other projects. You know, it could take longer. But usually, so I've been working on a lot of sort of freelance stuff now. Just able to work with friends that I couldn't work with, and now I can. And so I've been really enjoying that. And then whenever that gets finished up and I'm waiting for feedback, well, there's times when I get all the work done and I'm waiting for feedback from 2 or 3 different places. And that's where you got to have that, well, I got this sacred time to create artwork. What am I going to create? And a lot of times people will go, what am I going to create now? What am I going to do? And they waste that sacred art time, the alone time that you have with just you and your canvas, or like this guy, alone with your beautiful dwarven lass. But that's why what I like to do is I have like a list, and I usually just write down like a title for a picture that I have an idea for. Well, this one is called Drunkards and Dragons, you know, kind of play off of Dungeons and Dragons. And once I zoom back, you know, you'll be able to see a little bit more of that dragon there. But basically the idea was to have, originally it was going to be a group of dwarves all standing on this sort of defeated dragon. And then you know what? Let's not make it a group of them, because that would also kind of, I had a, you know, kind of a time limit on this picture too. And the more characters, each character probably takes anywhere from 8 to 10 hours to have it sketched out, do the gray tones, and then do the coloring. So I figured I'd only have a few work days on it. Tomorrow is pretty much my last one, so I'm going to try to finish this tomorrow. And then what I'll do is I'll post a video of this as well with the various stages. I've been trying to be diligent in saving the different versions, from all the way from the early rough sketches to the final black and white tones, and then the colors. So I'll have multiple files on that I can go back and mix and match, and maybe get like a nice 10-step process where you guys can see that coming from now. But I thought it would be kind of cool, especially on Valhallantines Day, to sort of do a little bit of a different video and show you a work in progress. Oh yeah, if you can see it here, so it's still a little rough, but the dragon has some ropes around his mouth. And so they're going to have, and you can't see that anymore. I was originally going to record this, the voiceover. Look, there was going to be a group of guys. One of them didn't make it. So there you go. There's a little bit of what the dragon looks like. And there's a big empty spot in the background there. Well, boom, in the background, in the coming out of the mist and fog is going to be the silhouette, the dragons, because the dragons were celebrating Valhallantines Day as well. And then these hairy bearded folk came in and just ruined a good evening. But yeah, he has his mouth all tied up, and then the dragon will be coming into the back. I thought that kind of told a great little story. Real quick. So a lot of times I'll want to set the sort of the tone of what the picture is. Like overall, it'll be blues and things like that. And as you can see, I just put like a layer of blue over it. And now I'm erasing, like when I do on my other videos where I'll put like a dark layer over and I'll erase and you can see the highlights. I'm doing the same sort of thing, but kind of also combining it with a color. And this will probably not get used. I'm just, this layer, I'm just looking at it to go, well, what color am I going to make this picture? Normally, I always go with like reds and oranges and all that. And I have a previous dwarven image called Giant Slayers, this is sort of the second piece of that. And it's three dwarves standing on top of the head of like this giant kind of, giant ogre, mountain giant, something like that. And this one I wanted to do similar, like a sort of a second piece of that series. But that picture had a lot of purples and oranges. And so I go, well, I don't want to do my normal red stuff, which please don't tell anyone that. Red's the best color in the world. It's the color of love, like Valhallantines Day. Passion, anger, hate. All the things that make a great relationship. But I wanted to do a different sort of color scheme, and I knew that I wanted my kind of dragon to be reddish, and so the rest of it will be sort of those moody blues. No, that's actually a good Elvis song. Moody blues, sort of, cool colors in the background. Now, we'll see where I end up. I'll probably end up tweaking that color and getting more reds in there because I love me some reds. And if that dragon back there has to be kind of red, maybe we'll have to figure out something. But anyways, Pandawan's Journeyman, I hope you have a happy Valhallantines Day. Spend time with your loved ones. Have a great evening. I'm going to get back to working on this, and hopefully in the next day or so, I'll have the finished walkthrough. Romance. All right, Pandawans, remember your ABCs. Always be creating. Hail and happy Valhallantines Day.